Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Bunker Auditorium on beautiful Colorado School of Mines campus. I am Braden Johnson, and I am the chairman of the CSM Republicans Club, and I will be filling in as your moderator tonight. The CSM Republicans Club members have been very active in this election cycle, and we all feel that this election year is extremely important. We have organized this event in a nonpartisan way so that students here at Mines can become familiar with the candidates running for office, as well as with the issues on the ballot. We believe that no matter what your party affiliation or level of involvement has been, it is important that all people in this nation exercise their civic right to vote for the politician of their choice and the amendments, initiatives, and other issues on the ballot. Tonight, we have assembled a great group of politicians running for Governor of Colorado, U.S. Senate, and Congress. You will hear Ted Harvey, who will be speaking on behalf of Tom Tancredo, running for governor under the American Constitution Party. He will talk about Tom's plans to, what Tom plans to do as governor, and then answer some questions that we have prepared for the gubernatorial candidates. Then we will bring up Mr. Dan Mays, Republican governor candidate, to talk about what he will do for our state and answer the same questions. Then we will move into U.S. Senate, and John Zackham will be speaking on behalf of candidate Ken Buck. And then Bob Owens will be speaking on behalf of the Democrat Michael Bennett. Finally, the Congressional District 6 portion of the debate, and we will have Mr. John Flulich, the Democrat, and Debbie Brown will be speaking on behalf of Mike Kaufman. They will both have an opportunity to start with a little bit about their campaign and what they hope to do in Congress. We have prepared good questions for the congressional candidates as well that we will ask them and allow them to answer each question forum style. Each of these candidates that will be coming forward, we will give them 5 minutes to give an opening speech. And then we will have, give them up to 2 minutes to answer all the questions that we had prepared. They will then have an opportunity to give up to 2 minutes to closing remarks. So without further ado, we will go ahead and ask to have Ted Harvey, appearing on behalf of Tom Tancredo, please come up to the stage and let's officially kick this night off.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for being here tonight and being a part of this event. Thank you to the college Republicans here. I was a college Republican up at CSU, so I know where you all are coming from and how hard it is to put these together, and I appreciate you taking the time to be a part of this important process this year. This is an incredibly important year for Colorado. This is an important year for Republicans and conservatives, not only here in the state, but across the country. And I think you are going to see the Republican Party have incredible gains across the country and even here in Colorado. We are going to take back, I believe, the 3rd Congressional District, the 7th Congressional District, and the 4th Congressional District. And what an amazing feat that will be. Who would have ever guessed we would do that about 10 months ago? But I'm here to talk about Tom Tancredo and why I am chosen as a 9-year elected official for the Republican Party to support Tom Tancredo. And it was a tough decision. It's a tough decision for any Republican, much less an elected official, to support somebody who is not a part of the Republican Party anymore. But I know Tom Tancredo. Tom was my congressman for 10 years. He was the Republican congressman for 10 years. He served under the Reagan administration and the Bush administration as the regional director for education. He was also a state legislator and served on the Joint Budget Committee, the most powerful budget committee in the most powerful committee in the state legislature. The Joint Budget Committee is the committee that writes the state budget, and Tom was one of those house crazies back then. Tom is a Republican. He will rule as a Republican, govern as a Republican. He will appoint Republican cabinet members. He will appoint conservative judicial nominees, and he will govern as a Republican. And that's not taking anything away from Dan. Dan would as well. But when Dan won the primary, he and I spoke after the primary. I said, Dan, if you were able to put together a good campaign team, a statewide campaign team that can win a race across the state, and you can raise the money to do that, you'll have my support. You'll probably have everybody's support in the entire party. Fast forward about 3 weeks, and the campaign finance reports came out. And Dan had not hired a campaign team. Dan did not have a statewide campaign to be able to take on Mayor Hickenlooper. He also only had $19,000 in the bank. That's not what it's going to take to beat John Hickenlooper. I served in the legislature for 9 years. Prior to that, I was a Republican activist and worked on many campaigns. As legislators, we don't endorse in primaries. It's unseemly to endorse in primaries. But I did. I got involved in primary after primary after primary to make sure that we got conservatives elected to the legislature. Tim Leonard's in the back. I got involved in Tim Leonard's primary to make sure that a conservative would get elected in that Senate district. I had done this for years to make sure when we got to this point that the conservatives in the legislature would control the process. And that when we go into redistricting, that the conservatives would be able to draw the lines with a Republican governor to be able to make sure that we are in control for the next generation. If Mayor Hickenlooper becomes governor, then we will be in the minority for the next generation. So as a conservative, as I'm trying to push forward the conservative agenda, I had to decide who has the best ability to beat Hickenlooper, who has the best ability to be able to make sure that we beat Hickenlooper, we get redistricting in the Republicans' hands, and that we also have the ability to appoint conservative judiciary appointments and have a conservative administration. And that day, after the reports came out, and Tom Tancredo had $200,000 in the bank, and Dan had $19,000 in the bank, and Tom had an amazing campaign going, I came to the conclusion that there was no way I could not support Tom Tancredo for this election. I support all of the Republicans up and down the ticket, but I had to decide, do I want to win the race for governor? And when I did that, I decided that I had to pick my Republican Congressman, Tom Tancredo, to help get him across the finish line. And I hope you will have that discussion and come to that same conclusion as well. Thank you for having me today.